Good morning, Maria Flynn here, Facebook page owner of One Wise Life and the creator of OneWiseLife.com. How's everybody doing this Monday morning? TGIM. I love Mondays. I'm always supercharged on Mondays. I'm always looking forward to the Monday broadcast. And today is my 100th live broadcast. Round of applause. I can't even believe that I made it through 100 rounds. I wasn't sure if these lives would work, if the audience would like me, resonate with my message, dig what we're all about here at One Wise Life, but I'm thrilled to pieces that I did it, went for it, and that we found an amazing Owl Good Vibe tribe here. Shri Laxmi, hello. Can everybody hear me? Let's start with that, because last week we had issues. Actually, the last couple of weeks we've had issues with Facebook Live and making sure that everybody can hear me. I'm going to assume you can, because Cynthia says congrats. Yeah, 100. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. We just celebrated a year over on OneWiseLife.com, September 25th. So we are just chugging along. We are out to not just expand on our good vibe, but I really see all of us here as change agents, as people who just want to give back in the greatest way and stay connected and networking with the people who feel the same way, who know that life is not just about bigger, better, faster, more. It's not about competing with the Joneses and the neighbors, right? There's so much more to do. There's so much more to live for. There's such a deeper meaning behind everything that we do. And I'm inspired today to talk about getting our clues from nature. As we're waiting for these lives to roll in and the notifications, thank you guys for being here. I see more rolling in. Let me take a second to just share my live over on my personal page so that my friends know that I'm here and celebrating 100 live broadcasts. Good morning, Nina Blackenberg. I think you've been around for most of those 100 lives, and I'm excited that you're here because we're going to talk about some really good stuff today. I love nature. I love the universe. I love taking my cues from nature, and now that the fall season is coming, I was so inspired this weekend about everything that I observed and saw, and it inspired me to write an article that I'm going to share with you today. And really what we can learn from nature, because we're not separate from the universe. We're not separate from nature. We are a part of this whole rhythm that creates the universe. And when we start to think that we're separate and different than everybody else and everything else, then sometimes we get in our own way. And it's in getting in our own way that we end up feeling stuck. So here are some things that I want to talk about today with regard to nature, what we can learn, and how we can move to create and build a better life, how we can regain power from finding our flow. So, Gina is here from Angel Works by Gina, who's going to have a show later today. I highly recommend her. I'll be sharing her later. You were just thinking about this topic. I think I love the seasons. I love every season. I always say summer is my favorite season. I think that's because my body is hungry for vitamin D and the sun. I'm one of those people who needs it. Not everybody needs it, and all of us need it at different levels, and I'm one of those people who really loves the sun. So summer tends to be my more favorite time of the year. But in truth, there's so much beauty from every season. There's so much learning to be had from every season. All the seasons offer us an opportunity to grow and learn and to move with the flow of the universe when we get how that flow works. So some lessons that sort of came through this weekend about the change of seasons were really, I hope, they were empowering for me. I hope they're empowering for you. And that is to understand that not everything's in control. We don't have control of everything. We just don't. And we have to just accept it and know that we just got to let go what we can't control. We can only control what we can control. And then after that, we got to let go, because the more we try to control the things that we can't, well, then the more clutter shows up, the more nervous energy shows up, the more of this stuff happens in our minds that doesn't allow us to move with the flow. So in nature, I always say this, We never see the trees freaking out when winter shows up, right? They just kind of know to go dormant. They know to go dormant. They trust the process of the universe. They know that they can't control this part of nature, this part of change of seasons, so they go dormant, but they fully trust and embrace the flow of the universe, trust that they'll be back next year with spring, right? That's implicit trust in the universe. This is what I talk about when I say trust the universe, trust the process. This is that implicit trust. When you can't control the things around you, then you just got to trust. Implicit trust that it's happening for you and not to you. That you're to move with it, not against it. So this is all part of being flexible, right? And it's in that flexibility that the survival of the fittest show up, right? So just like I talked about the trees, well, let's talk about the animals. What do? They know to fly south. They don't freak out about, how they're going to get there. They just go. They don't freak out if everybody goes with them. They just go. Whoever stays behind, stays behind, right? They just go. They land where they're going to land, and they know that they'll come back next season. The squirrels hibernate. The bears hibernate. They do the things they need to do to move and to be flexible with what's presented to them. So when we have things that feel like these big constructs that we just can't deal with, well, how can we learn to be more flexible to move with it? Does this make sense to everybody? The other thing that I felt with regard to change of the seasons is that everything is important. No matter how big, no matter how small in the universe, everything is important. So we can look at the big, bold bear, the power of the bear. But the power of the bear is no different than the power of an ant. The reason there's no difference in their power and the way they showed up in power is the way that they show up empowered is because they're not afraid to show up as they are. They're completely authentic and own every part of themselves. They show up uninhibited to be themselves. They show up uninhibited to show the power with which they come. How many of you remember the ants? You recognize how small they are, but how much weight can they carry? And how much weight can they carry when they work together? Right? You don't have to be a bear to overpower. You can still be powerful and be an ant. And that the power lies in recognizing and aligning your whole truth. We talk about authenticity in almost every single show in different ways here on One Wise Life. And that's where the true power comes from. In your truth, in your authenticity. So of course I wrote an article about that this weekend. And I'm sharing that with you today as well. In that, I think sometimes when we don't take our cues from the universe, when we don't take our cues from nature, and we don't flow with the universe, we end up falling in a very trapped space of excuses and comfort. So we tend to look at our experiences as the reasons why we can't move forward, because we either weren't born with privilege, or we don't live in a place with privilege, or we've had experiences that have literally knocked us to our knees, but we forget the power with which we hold within, because we get stuck on the story of the excuse of the experiences that we've had. When I say that, I don't mean to belittle what you've gone through. Certainly, you've probably gone through massive experiences. But I am hoping to share and point out how we can take our cues from the universe, in understanding that we can't control we can't control everything. That when we stop resisting and we start practicing more acceptance for what is, then we can also learn to move through life in spite of the stories that we have, and in spite of the weight of those stories that we carry. When we share those experiences, we can find our power in the way with which we share that experience. So we can share it in the form of what we've learned, how we've overcome, where we're headed because of it, or we can share it from a place of excuse and comfort. And these are the reasons why I'm not moving forward in life. I'm just unlucky. One will move you, one will keep you stuck. In my article, I highlight Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer, who certainly had every reason to believe that their stories could have left them stuck. Wayne Dyer was orphaned, had an alcoholic father, suffered from alcoholism himself. But that's not the story that we remember Dr. Wayne Dyer from. We remember him as the spiritual guru. We remember him as the peaceful man and teacher with which he showed up. He showed up empowered, not as a spiritual guru, but in becoming that guru by accepting and overcoming and working with the universe through a path of love and non-resistance. Louise Hay does the same thing. She was a person who also grew up impoverished, abused, had to run away as a teenager. She had every excuse to not live a fulfilling life had she chosen to believe that. But instead, she used her story to overcome. And it's in that overcoming that we've learned so much from Louise Hay, and you can heal your life, right? The stories of tragedy with which they started is maybe how they started, but certainly not how they ended. Teachers like Dr. Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay have shown us how to transmute the energy and move with it versus being stuck by it. They moved with it and became more empowered in the way with which they chose to share their story, in the way they chose to transmute their energy to create something greater that not only helped themselves, but helped serve a greater purpose for anyone else as well that chose to learn from them. So today's live, I'm encouraging you to maybe find a way to take your cues from the universe, follow the flow of the change of seasons, and ask yourself, what can you change up? What can you change in your story? Can you keep complaining? Can you keep talking about travesty? Or can you talk about where you're going because of it? Or can you talk about what you've learned and what you can do to help others from the things that you've learned? Can you come more in alignment with love and acceptance and non-resistance? And when you do that, can you show up empowered because of your stories? When you do that, can you take note of how you feel when you do? When you do that, can you enjoy the ride with the flow and look at life as an adventure and what lays ahead because you chose to show up uninhibited, authentic, true to who you are, true and unapologetic for the stories with which you have. But that one shift in energy in how you choose to share yourself could make a world of difference for you. Does this make sense to everybody? Hearts, thumbs ups if it does, please. It lets me know that you're listening. Mandy Frederick is here. I love Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer, she says. I do too. There's so many great teachers out there to learn from. I find empowerment from the ways they chose to show up empowered. Nicole Perota is here. Yes, it can, and yes, it does make sense. Nicole, thank you. Thank you. You know, I never know because, you know, even though I think about these things, and I wrote an article this weekend about it, when I show up to the lives, what comes through in meditation and this whole massive feeling that comes through in meditation really is off the cuff when I come here. I might put some notes together for myself before a live, literally minutes before a live. But I really do trust the universe, trust the process that I'm going to share it in the way that needs to be shared for you. I only share myself as how I am and who I am at this present moment in time. It's because I invest my time in these lives and with you that it helps me show up uninhibited. It helps me show up true. It helps me confirm with this 100th show that we're having today that I'm on the right path. That anybody and everybody has the ability to be more, to show up more empowered, unapologetically you. And that it's in that uninhibited way of showing up that you show up ready to move, ready to flow, ready to give back and grow in the greatest good kind of way. Pamela Kelly says, trust the universe. Yeah, that's my motto. Trust the universe, trust the process. I say it all the time, all the time. Marcine Dillon says, exactly. I'm so glad. Fatma Hamdi says, and it really works. Awesome. The things that I'm trying to say really work. Good. I just saw your other message, Fatma. I'm so happy. And not only is this my 100th live show, I'm also really taken by the massive amount of messages I received this weekend about the things that you've learned, the things that you have been experimenting with, and the things that I've shared, and the things that I've shared from the coaches as well, that you've taken those nuggets of wisdom and you've applied them to your life. And we all know that we can find inspiration every day. We all know that staying engaged is incredibly an important part of the equation in changing your life and empowering your life. But really, we know that the results only happen when you implement the things that you've learned. And that's what we're here to do at One Wise Live, to give you the inspiration, to get you that community, to keep you engaged, but also to inspire you to implement the things that we've learned. I love sharing the information from the coaches over there at onewiselife.com. And trust me, just as you're learning from them, as am I. And the things that work, the things that make sense to me are the things that I share and expand upon here on these lives. Gina, yes, it's my 100th one. Can you believe it? And we're going to keep going and keep growing. And I'm going to keep showing up uninhibited. I keep finding new things to share, new ways to share it with you. And I'm just so grateful. So grateful that you're here with me. Okay, guys, more shout outs before we say goodbye here. Let's see. Christine Ustisian Fasen. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I missed your previous lives. Will you cover those sessions sometimes? Christine, you can find them right on the One Wise Life Facebook page. If you go to the Facebook page at One Wise Life, ONEWISELIFE, I'll post it in the comments. You can go to the videos section on my page, and you can catch every one of those lives. You just inspired me to do something else with them. More on that later. But yes, you can catch those lives right there on the page. Let's see. Nina Blackenberg says, I am going out of my comfort zone because of you. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Sean Stevenson says, the only thing the comfort zones do for us is they keep us fat, they keep us lazy, and they keep us comfortable. They don't do anything for us. It's growing past those comfort zones that there's so much more to be gained. I'm so glad that you're saying that, Nina. I'm grateful for that, because you do engage every single day, not just with my life, but with Stephen's lives. And I've been enjoying what I've been seeing you post. I've been enjoying watching this transformation happen literally online. And you have utilized the power of the Owl Good Vibe Tribe to your greatest good. I know you're networking, and that's awesome. And I encourage all of you to do that. Balvina Carr says, congratulations on the 100th live show. I've learned a lot through these live shows and action on your advices. Awesome. And I'm only sharing what I've learned along the way too. People call me an expert, and I think of myself actually more of a student. But in truth, in order to be an expert in anything, you got to be a student in everything. Just my personal opinion. Always stay learning. When you're not learning, you're not growing. Jennifer West says, at 44, I decided to try to do what you're saying. It started June 22nd. Wow. 44, 22. Love those numbers. And good for you, Jennifer. It's never too late. It's never too late. We all learn when we're supposed to learn, and we grow when we're supposed to grow. One little side note before I say goodbye to everybody. I don't want to diminish the experiences that we've all gone through. We've all, myself included, have gone through some shitty stuff. And it's important to honor that time. It's important to be angry. It's important to be sad. It's important to feel the feelings you're going to feel. You got to process those feelings. You got to let it through. You got to let it just be felt and acknowledge them. Acknowledge the experience as you're going to feel it. Most important, from today's message is just to take your cues from the universe and know that being stuck there is not where you're meant to be. It's just not. Move with the universe. Trust the universe. Trust the flow. Trust the process. Allow yourself to feel what you're going to feel. And when you're ready, turn that page. Turn that page. Take everything that you've learned and grow because of it. Don't be stuck because of it. All right, let's see. Tony Sasher, Maria, you're doing a good job of sharing yourself. I find you tell me what I know. It is like a tune-up. Congrats. Yes, these are like tune-ups. Honestly, when I say that these things resonate with you, it doesn't mean that I'm teaching you anything new. I really don't. I think we're just reaffirming for each other and empowering one another because we've chosen to show up. And when I say things resonate with you, it's because I'm striking a chord within you that is in alignment with the universe. And it's just the universe showing up for you in a way that's bringing the things that are important back to the forefront and not putting them on the back burner anymore. They're waiting to come out, right? So come on out. Show up uninhibited. Show up empowered because of your experiences. And with that, I will wish you a brilliant Monday. I'll be back here on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will share, I'll put the link to my Facebook page. I know some of you are already on it, but for those of you that are not, I'll put it on the comment section so that you can come check out the page. Check out the information that I have there. I will put a link to my latest article, and I hope that you enjoy it and take from it ways in which you can regain your power through your story. And that's it for today, folks. Have a fabulous day. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye, everybody.